The Rams take down the Saints on Thursday Night Football. Matthew Stafford with 328 passing yards. The Bengals and Steelers trying to make a playoff push, as well as the Miami Dolphins and the Dallas Cowboys trying to get themselves into the 1 seed and a potential Super Bowl matchup. The 49ers and Ravens on Christmas Day. You are listening to the Fumblerooski podcast.
And the pass is no sign yet. Edelman comes down with a football. They're saying it's a catch. This is caught. Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable! Swings it way down the field to Watkins. Sammy Watkins for the touchdown!
Good evening. You are listening to the Fumblerooski podcast by Power 88 Dean Radio and Secret Weapon Consulting. I'm Chris Costich, along with CJ Medeiros and Justin Tucker. Good slate here for the holiday edition of the Fumblerooski podcast. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas. CJ, Tuck, what are you guys most excited for this weekend?
We know what time it is. We know what time it is on Monday, on Christmas Eve. Oh man, I can't wait for Christmas night. I can't wait. I'm nervous, but at the same time excited. This is a potential game of the year. This actually might be game of the year. I can't wait to see it.
Potential Super Bowl matchup, to say the least. Both top, the Niners and the Ravens, the two top teams in the NFL. We'll get to that later on in the show, but first of all,
don't I have to say what I'm looking forward to?
Sorry, no, CJ, I don't care about you. No, I'm kidding.
Feelings mutual. Anyway, for me, it's not even football related now. It's just nice to unwind from last semester, which I don't know if those listening will know. It was a cookie, but just chilling, hanging with family and stuff. It's gonna be a welcome change of pace. I tell you what.
And we wish you luck for the second semester, CJ.
Yep. When you graduate, guess who's going to be there to watch it?
Not me.
You? Wait. No way.
I'll come down to watch you graduate.
Oh, epic. Thank you, my guy.
Well, geez.
You have to tell me when graduation day is. You have to give me the heads up.
All right. Would you go to if I have a grad party, would you go?
Depends on the day, but yeah, I would go.
I think it'd be the day after.
Sure. Fuck it. Why not?
Oh,
damn, if Tuck's going, I'm going to have to go. Shit.
Sure, yeah, sure. You're invited. You're one of the good ones.
No, I meant the graduation, not the party, but I'll go to the party too.
Yeah, sure. Either way, we'll discuss later. Let's get it.
All right, let's get into it. Rams taking down the Saints last night, Thursday Night Football. Matthew Stafford having a pretty solid night, 328 yards, 2 touchdowns. Story here though, Puka Nakua, 9 catches, 164 yards, and 1 touchdown. Was it a huge night for Cooper Kupp, which kind of made me want to kick myself in the nuts because I had him in fantasy for fantasy playoffs, but 6 catches, 52 yards. Pretty good day out of Chris Olave, 9 catches, 123 yards. And the big thing here, Rams defense shut down Alvin Kamara. 9 carries, 19 yards, 5 catches, 16 yards. That was basically the name of the game right there, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
And in the case for the Rams, obviously, both teams are making a playoff push. Saints are somehow still in range to get the division, but that's just the NFC South. And for the case of the Rams, they're now in the 6th spot, pending how the other games go. Say the Vikings and Seahawks, since they're in the 7 and 8 spot, but the Rams have that 6th spot right now. Just general thoughts from you two.
Oh no, I don't know how to say this, but I'm really liking the Rams in the NFC South. They've won 4 out of their last 5. Their rookie in Puka and Kyren is stepping up. Their second-year player in Kyren Williams is stepping up over 100 yards and a touchdown. They're looking really good. I thought we were going to run over them, but whenever you have a guy like Matthew Stafford on your team, you always got a chance. And with the pieces surrounding them, they actually might be a threat, considering if that defense can just get it together a little bit more, because they're starting to apply more pressure and starting to get Aaron Donald more one-on-ones. I'm really liking this team. Might be a major dark horse in the NFC, especially if they make the playoffs. They're an underrated team. Saints, unfortunate they couldn't get the job done. Unfortunate loss in the race for the NFC South title. But all in all, they're not out of it yet. They could still somehow sneak in and get a playoff thing. They have a few pieces here or there. Chris Olave looked good last night with Derek Carr. Alvin Kamara, please leave. I don't care how you do it. Please leave. They don't deserve you. All in all, good win for them. Bad and tough loss for the Saints.
All right. So, from my point of view, the Rams, Tuck's right. They're heating up at exactly the right time. And just look at that roster. We didn't expect them to do anything, but Matt Stafford's returning to form. Looks like they have a gem, an absolute gem in Kyren Williams, and an even bigger gem in the man Puka Nacua, who I think is 4th or 5th now with like all-time rookie receiving yards. Like that record, that's pretty interesting. I didn't move past Randy Moss on that list. I saw a graphic about it this morning. And how about Demarcus Robinson? 6 catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown. He just decided, oh, yeah, I exist. And Cooper Kupp assisting, with 6 catches. That's pretty cool. The Rams, the thing for me, though, is the defense. You have guys like Aaron Donald, and I'm not really convinced with the rest of the team. Oh, yeah, you have John Johnson. He's pretty good. But other guys like Ernest Jones, Akello Witherspoon, Kobe Turner, like, I don't know. Not super, super convinced. You know what I mean? Their defense is going to need a lot more work, but just this offense is creeping into top 10 territory. And when I look at the Saints, Derek Carr with 3 touchdowns, 319 yards, a pick, 27 for 40. He didn't do terribly, but I don't know. It's just not enough. And here's the thought, right? As you know, the NFC South is very competitive, not because of skill, but because of the lack of it. As it sits right now, I want to say Tampa is in the lead. And I think it's going to come right down to the wire because, oh my God, this division is abysmal, where every team should be tanking, essentially, but someone's got to win. Someone's got to, someone unfortunately has to. And here's something. I believe that if the Saints peter out and miss the playoffs, I think their head coach, Dennis Allen, is probably going to get canned. I mean, this is a guy who probably is more qualified to flip burgers at McDonald's than be an NFL head coach. And I don't know. There's just not a lot to say about this game. However, the Rams, mark my word, if you are one of the top flight teams in the NFC and you have them on their schedule, be warned that could very well be a trap game.
Mm-hmm. And if the playoffs ended today, they would face the Lions. That would be a very interesting game to watch. I'm not going to lie. I will watch that game.
Same.
Yeah. Any other thoughts from you guys?
No.
Either way, whoever wins the NFC South, it's going to be abysmal. I'd rather not see the Saints in the playoffs. I personally think it's going to be Tampa Bay at this point.
I hope so. I hope it's Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa's just more fun to watch.
And Baker's been playing pretty good, if I do say so myself.
Very underrated quarterback this year.
Mm-hmm. Underrated.
We'll step aside for a quick break. When we come back, we'll get into our Week 16 preview. You're listening to the Fumblerooski podcast.
Here's Edelman broken up, and the pass is no sign yet. Edelman comes down with a football. They're saying it's a catch. This is caught. Diggs sideline.
You are listening to the Fumblerooski podcast. Chris Costich, CJ Medeiros, Justin Tucker. We get into our Week 16 preview. Breaking news, though, is at 12:36 p.m. The Falcons have been fined $75,000, and Arthur Smith has been fined $25,000 for violating the NFL injury report policy prior to the club's Week 7 game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers via Ian Rappaport. And this is a situation that was surrounding Bijan Robinson and his lack of snaps during that game.
I'm sorry, did you say Week 7?
Week 7.
What kind of goofy BS? Like, what? Week 7, it's, what is this now? Week 15? Week 16?
Week 16.
Yep.
Ain't that something?
Yeah, and has anything come out of the Bengals situation? With
Not that I'm aware of.
Burrow? No, I thought they let him off the hook because Bengals.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest.
Not surprising at all. But we'll start out with the Saturday slate. 2 games. Bengals versus Steelers, Bills versus Chargers. We'll start with the earlier game at 4:30 p.m. on NBC. Steelers versus Bengals in Pittsburgh. 48 degrees. Line is 3 in favor of the Bengals. No Jamar Chase, but I feel like that shouldn't really hinder the Bengals all that much, considering that they're going to have to play a Mason Rudolph, who hasn't really played all year, or hasn't played all year at all. And, you know, I'm not saying Mason Rudolph is a bad quarterback. Like, he's definitely, in the past, he was definitely decent. But I don't know if this is the guy that's going to do a whole lot for the Steelers in this last playoff push. So I'm going to go Bengals, probably by 10.
I don't believe in the Steelers, because in order to believe in the Steelers to win this game, you would have to have faith in their quarterbacks. And nobody with sense has faith in these quarterbacks right now. Unfortunately, I'm picking between bad and worse, so I have to go with the Bengals here.
Yeah. Let's not complicate this too much. I'm going Cincy. And we all know why. I mean, Jake Browning is relatively unproven, and he doesn't have Jamar Chase. But Mason Rudolph and the Steelers' offense that has somehow, some way, gotten worse without Matt Canada. Explain that one to me, Science.
Good and explain.
A wide receiver that doesn't want to block for his running back. That is crazy behavior.
And another wide receiver that's criticizing his quarterback and wants out. Man, what is it with the Steelers and diva receivers? I'll never know.
They're so talented, though.
There's just too much turmoil at this point for the Steelers to even make a run. I don't know. Like, Mike Tomlin is amazing at getting his teams to not losing records, but this is just
watch this.
This has to be it at this point. This has to be the season, considering how much this team has seemingly turned on each other.
It happens every year. Watch them struggle against other teams, but when it comes to us, they'll play up to standard. It's
a division game. They're usually tougher, but either way, I don't know. Give me Bengals, like Chris said, by 10.
Bengals.
Bills Chargers, the 8:00 slot main event for Saturday night. That's going to be played on Peacock. Home game for the Chargers. Chargers, they've sucked in general, especially at home. 2-5 at home, but the Bills 2-4 on the road this year. But really shouldn't matter the way the Bills have been playing. Just the Bills are hot right now, coming off of a beatdown against the Cowboys at home. Spreads at 12.5. Seeing the way that the Chargers played against the Raiders, I wouldn't be surprised if this was Bills by 28.
Actually, now that I think about it, that's very possible.
Maybe even,
but I wouldn't say
25.
28. I'd say 22. I'd say if it's over under 20, I'd say plus 20, but 22.
Let me remind you no Keenan Allen, no Joey Bosa, and the Bills also have a couple players that are questionable, Daquan Jones and Kyrie Alam, but
I still got the Bills.
yeah.
Yeah. Now here's the thing with Buffalo. You got to remember. You said 2-4 on the road. Well, I
Yeah.
have some news for you. You're on the road against the Chargers.
Yeah.
The Chargers basically play 17 away games because opposing fans pack the stadium.
Yes.
So I would argue respectfully
That's
that argument doesn't hold much water when you're going against a team that has no fans. So yeah, it's got to be Buffalo because the Chargers. Do they even have Herbert? They don't.
No, they still
No,
don't
they
have
don't.
Herbert. Herbert's done for the year.
Yep, and a
Yeah,
new
he's
coach.
definitely-
Oh, recipe for disaster. Give me the Bills. If I had to put a number on it, I genuinely wouldn't be shocked if it was like 35-10.
The funny thing is, I just realized what the Raiders just did to that team. I
Mhm.
forgot
Yeah,
about
exactly.
that. 60. What was it? 63-21. I forgot about that. And that yes, it is over 22. Let me rephrase. It's over 22 now.
Yeah, the line should be that much. The line should be that much larger, but in the NFL, it is pretty hard to really blow out a team the way that the Raiders blew out the Chargers last week.
That is insane. That is the second time that someone has gone over 60 this year.
Yeah,
Mhm.
That's it hasn't happened in a very long time.
it hasn't happened since I think 1979, I think it was.
Something like that.
I think that's what the graphic was last week. I can't remember.
Yeah, he deserved to get fired, but geez.
Yeah, that was just insane. Like
Couldn't
3
be me.
years too many.
Couldn't keep him.
Go to the Sunday slate. We'll start with Colts Falcons.
Colts.
Yeah, Colts.
Colts.
So here's something. The line is Atlanta by 2.5. And I just don't buy that. I just don't buy how you can have the Falcons favored in this game.
Tuck, you on
Especially-
start or should I? Because after when Chris is done, because this is nuts.
This is who was betting? Who set the line like that?
According to ESPN Analytics, they have the Falcons at 50.7%, 48.9% for the Colts in their matchup predictor. The Colts do have a lot of guys that are like questionable. Zach Moss, questionable. Michael Pittman, for some reason, is questionable. He shouldn't even be playing this week.
Yeah.
Falcon side, Calais Campbell, Jake Matthews, Bud Dupree, they're questionable. Probably will be good to go for Sunday. But
Maybe.
the way that Arthur Smith just utilizes his talent and just doesn't, like for some reason, Bijan Robinson's in the doghouse for some reason that can't be explained. If he gets doghouse carries again this week, then I'd expect the Falcons to get embarrassed again the way that they did last week against Carolina. Oh, another thing to note, Taylor Heinicke starting for Atlanta as well.
Yeah, it's got to be the Colts, right?
Yeah.
Look, the Falcons just lost to the Panthers, and the Panthers, correct me if I'm wrong, did not get into the end zone.
No, they did
No.
not.
No,
they
yeah,
did not.
no, they didn't. So you have no business being the Colts with or without Michael Pittman.
Yep. Gonna go Colts by 7.
Colts by 10.
I would say Colts probably by 10 or 13. Maybe like 23-10.
One or the other. Seahawks Titans. It's in Tennessee. Seahawks have not played that well on the road. They're 2-5 on the road. Titans have been playing pretty good the last few weeks. Granted, they did blow a lead to Case Keenum and the Houston Texans last week. Seahawks are coming off of a huge upset on Monday Night Football, Monday Night Football against the Eagles.
Can't believe it.
Can't believe it with Drew Lock. Seahawks by
He played
3.5.
good,
I say the Seahawks ride the momentum with or without Geno Smith. I'm going to go Seahawks by 3.5. Or Seahawks by 4, I mean. Excuse me.
It'll probably be Seahawks, but I'm going to take the Titans. I just think they can get the job done. After all, they did beat Miami on Monday night, so they have the potential to do it. Now, will they shoot themselves in the foot? Absolutely. But I still think they can get the job done.
Yeah, and on top of that too, Titans will probably not have Will Levis as well. He was on concussion protocol after that game. What else? Trying to find more. Treylon Burks also on injury report as well. Should have had more of this ready to go, but
so I would think that the Seahawks would win, Drew Lock or not. And I know the Titans always have upset ability, but Seattle fancies itself as a playoff team. They're fighting for their life, and the Titans are pretty much dead.
Yeah.
And I know they're still going to keep fighting, but I feel like Seattle just might want it a little more, Drew Lock or not. Also, like Chris just said, Will Levis is in concussion protocol. You saw that hit he took last game. And just how he was laying on the ground, he looked like Peter Griffin, like after a prep fall.
Yes.
And I can't see the Titans winning it, especially without Treylon Burks. They're just going to be on the ground, and all Seattle will have to do is stack the box.
Yeah,
True.
so Derek, you're going to have a historic night. But I believe in you, Derek.
I would say both teams would be stacking the box too, because Kenneth Walker had a really good game on Monday night as well.
Oh, you saw that move he put on for the touchdown?
Disgusting.
Beautiful.
He had a really good game. So we all have Seahawks. Moving on, Lions, Vikings. It's in Minneapolis. Lions by 3. Lions are 5-2 on the road. Vikings are 2-4 at home. Surprisingly. Just like any team that has a losing record at home is just, how can you let yourself do that?
How are you even a playoff team right now? Like they would be 7th right now if the playoffs stopped today. How?
Yeah, and Vikings coming off of a pretty disappointing loss against Cincy last week, a game that they blew.
Yes.
The Lions coming off of a Saturday night beatdown against the Broncos. They handled the Broncos easily. I'm gonna go Lions by Lions by 10.
Tuck, do you want to take that first?
I'll take it first. I'm trying to figure, because the Vikings defense has been playing better under Brian Flores. I'm trying to see if I trust them enough to take them, and I can't do it. I got to go Lions. I got the Lions by 7.
I know that division play is always tougher, but either way, the Vikings, like outside of Justin Jefferson, what are you really gonna do? The way I sit, it's probably. With Justin Jefferson, it's like, so what? I mean, you're down to Nick Mullins and a defense that will break more than bend. So, yeah, it should be the Lions, especially with guys like Sam Laporta and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Give me the Lions. Probably, I would say 27 to like 13.
27.
I think it's going to be a lot closer.
Yeah, it is a divisional matchup. You do have to remember that.
Yeah, but still, the Vikings quarterback room has enough firepower to be mistaken for a water pistol. So, I don't know.
Moving on to the toilet bowl game of the week. It's the worst offense in the league versus the worst defense in the league. You know what I'm talking about. It's the Commies versus the Jets in MetLife. Jets by 3. Hold on. I just had something about Zach Wilson up. Great. Now I got to find it again. But Zach Wilson. I don't think Zach Wilson's playing. I just had it too. Where is it?
Who are they going to start over him?
Well, he's on concussion protocol. That's why.
They're gonna start
Okay.
that one fella there. I can't remember his name.
Boyle?
Yeah, that's
Timothy
it.
Boyle?
Maybe, I don't know. Or some
I
other
feel
scrub. What do you want?
I feel so bad for Zach Wilson.
Okay, Zach Wilson. So as of an hour ago, 12:51 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right now that we're recording. As of an hour ago, Zach Wilson is out for Sunday, according to Rap Sheet. Robert Saleh said Aaron Rodgers will not be the third QB. Trevor Siemian and Bright Ripon are the team's QBs.
As they should. Aaron Rodgers shouldn't step on the field for the rest of this year.
No
Stop
one should
doing
step
that.
on that field in MetLife. I mean,
Yeah.
God.
Absolutely not. You already lost him once this year, dude. And don't lose him. Just don't lose him again.
I mean, we all knew he wasn't going to come back despite all the nonsense he was spouting. Now, I'm going to take the Jets. It's going to be ugly because the Jets' defense is going to put the clamps on the Commanders' offense, and the Commanders' defense couldn't stop a light breeze. Give me the Jets, but in a weird, just ugly game, probably like 14-10. It's going to be low scoring.
I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go with the commies on this one. I'm going to say that Sam Howell had himself a good game.
Hey, I'm a Sam Howell fan, so I respect it.
Yeah. I'd say Sam Howell has himself a 300-yard game because he's still – it's not like he doesn't have weapons. He's still got Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin.
And Jahan Dotson.
I think that they'll be able to do some work on the Jets' defense, but it's definitely going to depend on if Ron Rivera is man.
Well, that's the big if, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, considering that it took him over 4 minutes to score from the 1 yard line last week, which also they started with a little over 4.5 minutes to go on the 1 yard line.
Yep.
And by the time they finally scored, there was under 2 minutes left in the game. And they were down by 14.
Mm-hmm. Granted, they scored again, but it didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
But it really didn't.
Regardless, that just gives you an idea of how incapable Ron Rivera is of coaching an NFL team. Unless he was just so in fully tack with the tank at that point, but that's just ridiculous.
I don't even hear it again.
So CJ's got Jets. I got commies. Tuck, who do you got?
I got commies. This game is terrible. Commies by 10. Plus.
Packers by 5. This is in Charlotte. Packers are another team that hasn't played all that well on the road either. They're 2-5 on the road this year. I don't think that's going to matter much. I'm going to take the Packers by 10.
Sometimes when I look at the Packers, they look like a real deal team. Like, all right, this is what I expect from them. And then all of a sudden they'll play terrible. Out of nowhere. They shouldn't lose to the Panthers. It's the Packers, but they shouldn't. It's an obvious one for them. If they lose this game, conversations need to be had.
Yeah, the Packers really are one of those teams that just you never know which team you're going to. You could say that about a lot of teams, but the Packers especially are just one of those teams you really don't know what you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to get the Packers team that blew out the Lions on Thanksgiving, or you don't know if you're going to get the Packers where Jordan Love throws 2 interceptions in the last 4 minutes of the game against the Steelers.
You know, the one that beat the Chiefs or the one that lost to the Falcons. I don't know which one I'll get at times.
Exactly.
I'm probably going Packers, and I feel like it's going to be a game, though, because nothing can ever come easy for the Cheeseheads, especially since, to my knowledge, like you said, they've been abysmal on the road. I would imagine it's going to be like 20-10, and it's going to be probably something along the lines of 10-10 going into the fourth before the Packers realize, oh, wait, I should win this.
So we all got Packers. Move on to the last 1 o'clock game of the week. Browns versus Texans. Bad news for Texans fans. Still don't know if CJ Stroud's going to play. Still on concussion protocol for this week. With that being said, if CJ Stroud doesn't play, but they'll also probably get Nico Collins back, most likely. But rap sheet, CJ Stroud not yet back at practice for Houston, a bad sign for his availability this week, still in concussion protocol. If that's the case, give me Joe Flacco by 7.
Oh, Tuck doesn't like that. You know what?
Give me Flacco.
Oh, by the way, Tuck, do you mind if I take this so I can?
You can take this.
I would say so I can. So we don't have to rush through your suffering there. For me, I don't trust the Texans with old General Mills as their quarterback.
Well, Case Keenum is going to be the starter, not Mills.
And I don't trust Case Keenum either.
Had to let that be known.
Be it Davis Mills or be it Case, the eternal backup Keenum, give me Joe Flacco, because that defense, it's got to be that defense.
Give me Flacco.
Said no one past 2014, but that's neither here nor there.
You don't want to see Flacco in the Yops, Tuck. You don't want to see him.
If we're the number 1 seed, I'll be fine because he'd have to get past Miami or Kansas City. But it's fine.
I hope. If Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl with the Browns, that'd be.
There's not enough profanity in the world. If he actually wins a Super Bowl with Cleveland, I'll be so mad. I'll respect him, but Cleveland.
It would be the funniest thing. I know they won't, but it'll be the funniest thing ever if they do.
Yeah.
It'll just be so egregious on the timeline on X when Cleveland fans talk about Joe Flacco won us a Super Bowl. I won't be on Twitter for a month if that happens. But
and you already know they won't do it without. They'll do it without Chubb, and they'll probably do it with a bunch of other injuries too.
That's the worst part. Chubb's not even there to offset it. It'll just solely be because of Flacco. That's how they'll win it. But
well, what's your prediction then?
If Stroud's not available, I got Cleveland because that defense is just so good. I really wish Cleveland lost last week, but I can't get things that I want because people can't catch. But it's neither here nor there. Cleveland's on a roll. Joe Flacco's looking good as their quarterback, even better than Deshaun Watson, which is saying something. But all in all, Cleveland is a playoff caliber team. And right now, Houston is still trying to get their way into the playoffs. So, I don't know. I see Cleveland winning this one by 3.
I like it. Move on to
it hurts, but they will win.
Move on to the late afternoon games. Jaguars, Bucks. Jaguars coming off of a pretty bad loss against Baltimore. Don't really know if Trevor Lawrence is still dealing with, or how much he's still dealing with that high ankle sprain. They're going to tape the living hell out of it. There was a Trevor Lawrence report on here. Jaguars are likely potentially to play this weekend without Trevor Lawrence due to a concussion.
Mm-hmm.
So, as of an hour ago, Doug Peterson says Trevor Lawrence will practice today, still under concussion protocol, must clear to travel to Tampa tomorrow. Bucks currently have the line at 2.5 in favor of Tampa Bay, which, to be honest,
it's not a bad line.
To be honest, I might actually have to take Tampa Bay here.
I'm leaning Tampa as well.
Yeah. I've been liking the way Tampa's been playing. I think that they'll definitely find a way to capitalize off of the Saints losing last night and take full control of the NFC South in this last 3 weeks of playoff, or last 3 weeks of the regular season for the playoff push. Give me Tampa by 3.
Give me Jacksonville. I still think with the weapons that they have and that defense that they have, I think they can pull this one out. don't get me wrong. I like Tampa Bay, and I like what Baker has done there. And surprisingly, I don't think they should tank just yet. But right now, I still think Jacksonville has a little bit of an edge.
There's some sham vibes that are coming out of the Jaguars, considering that they seem to be incapable of beating teams that are weaker than they are. They cannot punch below their weight. And the Bucks, I don't know. There's something about them that worries me. I mean, it's just the absolute volatility of their offense. But either way, I think that Tampa pulls off the upset, in this old Florida Bowl in Tampa. I believe it will be 27-23.
Now, with that being said, if the Jaguars do go without Trevor Lawrence, they will have to start CJ Beathard, which
And he is garbage.
he did play pretty well against the Bengals when he had to sub in. He went 9 for 10, 60, just had it up. 9 for 10, 63 yards. He got sacked twice. It wasn't his fault. Jaguars are up there in sacks allowed this year.
Yeah, that was a snapshot in time. Can you do it for a full game? That's where I have a bit of a question.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. The other toilet bowl game for the week, Cardinals Bears. I'm gonna go Bears on this. It's in Chicago. Give me Bears by 7. I don't know. Yeah, Bears by 7.
Cardinals by 10, all because they couldn't beat Cleveland last week. They had one job. They pissed their pants. They couldn't finish the job. I'm picking the Cardinals up, just strictly off emotion.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I like the Bears defense right now, though. I mean, they were still able to get 4 turnovers off of Joe Flacco.
Still didn't get the job done.
But
saw that
I think that they could definitely.
Cooper. They didn't do good enough.
Sure, they didn't do good enough, but the way that this defense has been playing and how they've been rushing the quarterback and stopping the run game, I'm liking the Bears.
True, and I do believe some of the skill position players are letting their quarterback down.
Yeah.
But all in all, they should have won that game. I'm still upset.
Now, plain and simple, the Cardinals are in a rebuilding year. I mean, the Bears kind of are too, and they're disappointing, but I just don't see the Cardinals defense being able to contain guys like DJ Moore or Justin Fields when he gets out of the pocket. So give me the Bears. However, it is going to be an ugly game. I'm going to assume it's probably going to be something like, I don't know, like 17-10 or something.
Something weird.
Yeah, a goofy score there.
Yeah. So last game on the slate for the late afternoon, the battle of 2 seeds, the Cowboys and the Dolphins. And this one's interesting because
I got Cowboys.
It's you look at I don't know though, because the Cowboys have not played good on the road at all this year. They're 3-4 on the road.
Yeah.
They're averaging what? Sorry, I thought everything's screwed up right now. I thought I had it. Cowboys are averaging less points per game than they are points allowed on the road this year by a pretty good margin. Especially yards. This is a toss-up. And Vegas has it as a toss-up as well. Miami has the spread by 1. Miami's 6-1 at home.
I
don't know.
I want to say Dallas because I want them to treat it as like we got embarrassed by the Bills. We're not about to be embarrassed by the Dolphins. However, with that said, if Tyreek Hill is healthy and he's playing, they're going to need Stephon Gilmore and the interception leader to step up big time. They're going to need that.
Dolphins coach Mike McDaniel told reporters that he expects Devon Achane to play. Also reiterated that Tyreek Hill had no setbacks, and he feels good about Hill playing on Sunday.
That's good.
Yeah, You guys are right. This is a toss-up. I mean, if this were an election, this would be decided by less than 1% as far as a prediction goes.
Yeah.
And from where I sit, there's one thing we got to realize: the Cowboys are abysmal on the road. This is a fact. We've seen it with our own eyes. However, for Miami, if Tyreek Hill is not going to play and he is a setback, then I would lean Dallas. But since he is, I have to tilt in Miami's direction. Not just because Dallas is bad on the road, but that Stephon Gilmore, I would say, is their only like true lockdown corner, because Bland is very good. He stuffs the stat sheet with interceptions, but dude can get gashed. And I mean, just he gets gashed when he's not catching picks. Kind of like the Trayvon Diggs double-digit picks year, but he gave up a lot of yards. So that being said, and plus, not only do you have Tyreek Hill, you also have Jalen Waddle, who's just another Tyreek Hill. And Gilly can't be everywhere at once. And when you combine that with A-Chain and Mostert, who are the fastest running back duo in the league, I don't know. Not to mention, Miami's defense is going to get gashed by Dallas plenty. But at the end of the day, in the arms race, speed kills, and that speed will carry the Dolphins to victory in probably the game of the week, perhaps, with Miami getting they're going to leave the game weary, but it's going to be a worthwhile 38-35 victory.
I need the Dolphins to lose. I need the Cowboys to win. Hopefully, Dak shows us that he is an MVP candidate and not the Dak of old. I need this new Dak to show up.
Yeah, you really need Dak to show up here, especially if he's the so-called MVP candidate that everyone supposes he is. I think that this is going to be a bounce-back game for Dallas, but give me Dallas by 3.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll go through the 3 Monday night games. You're listening to the Fumblerooski podcast.
Here's Edelman broken up, and the pass is no sign yet. Edelman comes down with a football. They're saying it's a catch. This is caught. Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable! Swings it way down the field to Watkins. Sammy Watkins for the touchdown!
You're listening to the Fumblerooski podcast by Power 88 Radio and Secret Weapon Consulting. Chris Costich, CJ Medeiros, Justin Tucker. As we now move on to the Monday Night Football slate, all national televised, Raiders versus Chiefs, Eagles versus Giants, and the main event, Ravens and 49ers. We'll start with the Raiders.
Chris. Did we forget Patriots Broncos on Sunday night?
Oh, wow, we did. Yeah, we did.
I just wanted to make sure we circle back, just real rapid fire here.
Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. Yep.
Broncos by 15 or more.
No, I don't know. The Patriots defense is actually pretty solid, especially against the run, which means Russ is going to have to beat them with his arm, which he can do, but I don't know. I'm not really buying their receiving threats outside of Cortland Sutton, and that's going to be Bill's main objective. I think the Broncos are going to win, but they're going to win ugly. Because, Bailey Zappi is always good for one really bad pick a game. So I would say Denver, but by 3, probably something like 13-10. It's going to be just a sloppy, just borderline unwatchable game.
Yeah, Denver has the line by 7. I don't think they're gonna cover. I'd say it's gonna be more in like the 6-5-4 range in favor of. I'm still gonna go Denver, but like you said, CJ, I think New England's gonna cover on this one.
I still got Broncos winning decisively.
I mean, who says that 4, 5, 6, 7 isn't decisive?
Not according to Tuck, it's not, but
I
that's
guess
all right.
not.
Let's move on to the primetime games.
Raiders versus Chiefs. This one's on CBS. Chiefs have it by 10. Both teams coming off of wins. Chiefs coming off of a win against the Patriots. Can't remember the score for that one off the top of my head.
27-17.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the Raiders obviously coming off of that historic beatdown against the Chargers, where they won 63-21. I highly doubt they're going to repeat that.
Nope.
The only real thing that I have is that the first time these two teams played, the Raiders were able to go out to a 14-0 lead start.
And then get abused.
Yeah, and then they let up 28 straight and lost. I'm going to think it's going to be something, not the Raiders going out to a 14-point lead, but in the sense of the score, it's going to be very similar. I'm going to go Chiefs by 14.
Hey, listen, if the Raiders of Thursday Night Football show up, they can beat anybody. But I don't think they'll show up again for quite some time. So I'd pick Kansas City to get the job done here.
A lot of it is Casey is just better than the Chargers. Better coaching. Their quarterback is actually starting, and Casey's defense is much better. And I got Kansas City probably something like 30-13.
Sounds pretty realistic.
Yeah. This one should be a quick one as well. Eagles-Giants, 4:30 Eastern kickoff on Fox. The spread is Eagles by 13.5. Is there Tommy DeVito or no Tommy DeVito? I don't know if you guys have heard about it at all yet.
I think Tommy DeVito might play, but I'm not sure.
Currently not seeing him on the injury report. Let me check something else real quick.
But either way, it should be Philly. It should. Emphasis on should. But Philly likes to underperform this year. And on top of that, I don't trust them anymore. And we all know division games are a wee bit tougher. I feel like it's going to be closer than it should be for a bit, but Philly will come out with a win. But the Giants will cover. Give me Philly by 10, probably like 27-17 or something like that.
I do not think the Giants will cover. I think the Eagles will dominate.
Yeah, I don't.
All you have to do is just target James Bradberry, because Bradberry could not cover a toddler.
Yeah, and Darius Slay, don't know if he's going to play either. Yeah, you really do just have to target James Bradberry and you're all set. But with that being said, I don't know. It's definitely a weird spot. I also don't really see the Giants covering, but it's going to be like a close cover for the Eagles. I'm going to go Eagles by 14. They need to get right game. They've lost 3 straight now, and a bad one on Monday Night Football. This is their get right game. Give me the Eagles by 14.
Yeah, they need a dominant win right now to make them feel like, hey, we're still Super Bowl contenders here.
Yeah. And now moving on to the main event of the weekend. The potential Super Bowl preview, the 49ers versus the Ravens.
Talk to me.
Christmas Day. The NFL schedule makers couldn't have made this any better. A magical night that will be ended by a magical game. The Ravens the top seed in the AFC. The 49ers, the top seed in the NFC. The 49ers have the spread by 5. The Ravens are 6-1 on the road. The Niners are 5-1 at home. Oh, baby.
This can't get any better. Two number one teams going at it.
Oh, baby.
Defense on the line. I can't wait. Prime time, 49ers, Lamar Jackson in prime time. Oh, man. It can't get any better. When the schedule came out and I saw when and where we were facing the 49ers, I was like, this is game of the year. Off rip. So with that being said, give me Baltimore and give me Baltimore proudly. I've been hearing all this talk about the 49ers and their +5. Absolutely not. We're not going for none of that. None of it. Christian McCaffrey isn't doing anything. I'm sorry, Christian McCaffrey. I think you're having an MVP caliber season. Probably won't get it because you're not a quarterback, but still nonetheless. All in all, Brock Purdy, I'm sorry. You're not going anywhere. You're not dotting us up like you do everybody else. We ain't going for any of that. The Baltimore Ravens defense is like that. 49ers, I'm sorry we got to do y'all dirty on your own home turf. It's nothing personal, but we need this number 1 seed more than you guys need it. So all in all this bulletin board material about how we're going to get ran off the field by the 49ers, enough said. I got Baltimore winning this game 27-30.
The Ravens coming in with the second-ranked defense. The 49ers coming in with the second-ranked offense. Both teams with top 10 defenses and offenses. Oh, man. I don't know which way to sway. Give me the Niners by 7.
God, this is tough. Forget what I said about Dolphins Cowboys. This is good. This is the real toss up.
This just makes your nuts tingle, man. I'm just saying.
You should see a doctor. But I don't know, man. This is gonna be something. You know something. I want to say one thing before I give my prediction. If the Niners win, then I do not want to hear any more questions about Brock Purdy. They are legit. Because every team has a knock against them. Now, however, I do think that if the Ravens want to win, they need to air it out. Because Tuck just said the Niners aren't going to run all over you. Well, you're not going to run on the Niners. No Keaton Mitchell, no whatever. You know what I mean? Your running back room is hurt. You're going to have to beat them through the air. Unless Lamar goes off for 150 yards, which I would not advise because he's been staying healthy this year. But if I look at it on paper and I evaluate their strengths and weaknesses, then I look at the fact that this is in San Fran. Give me the Niners by 1. 28-27.
Okay.
By 1.
But
And if the Ravens win, I could see it going the same way. It would just be by 1. I think this, even though it's like a 3-point spread, the spread will be covered. I assure you.
Yeah. Honestly, now that I think of it, so looking at the stats, the Niners have coming for the pass game. Niners are middle of the pack in the pass game in terms of yards allowed. The Ravens are in the top 10, definitely a better passing defense in that sense. But both teams honestly aren't, in the case of the 49ers, they're third in yards allowed this year. The Ravens are on the outside looking in for the top 10 when it comes to yards. So
we don't care about yards. It's all about points for us.
It's all about points.
If you want to beat, I will reiterate, if you want to beat the Niners, you must do it through the air. Like I said, I don't think the Niners are going to run the Ravens out of the game, but I also don't think the Ravens are going to run the Niners out of the game. Both ways, it's just not happening. It's going to be an air show, and I'm here for it.
Honestly, considering that both teams are averaging 16 points per game allowed this year, I wouldn't be surprised if this game gets finished under 20 points.
I wouldn't
for
be
both teams.
surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
Now, on
these
the other
things have a
hand,
funny way of happening, but there's just
on
gonna be
the
too
other
many
hand,
fireworks.
true, a tie could happen, and that, oh
Then
my
no
God,
one wins.
the NFL would be sent into a frenzy if that happens. And on top of that, the Niners and the Ravens are both top 5 in points scored this year. So this could even be a 30-plus point game for both teams. Both teams could easily put up 30, and they could easily allow less than 16, 14. Man. Geez. There really is no easy answer for it, unless you're Tuck, because you're obviously going to go Ravens.
Yeah.
The Ravens could be down Lamar, and he'd still go Ravens.
If we're down Lamar, I'm not picking the Ravens.
Oh, word?
I can't do it.
How do you like that?
I can't do it. Even though I wouldn't say it with confidence. I probably would, but I wouldn't say it with confidence.
There we go.
All right. Here's my hot take prediction. I'm going to go Niners by 6. This game goes to overtime. Niners get the winning touchdown.
Okay.
That's a bold strategy, Cotton.
That's my hot take for the week.
Let's see if it pays off.
See if it pays
thanks,
off.
Doc.
So we'll move on. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have our naughty and nice list, the contract edition for our Christmas show. You are listening to the Fumblerooski podcast.
Here's Edelman broken up, and the pass is no sign yet. Edelman comes down with a football. They're saying it's a catch. This is caught. Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable! Swings it way down the field to Watkins. Sammy Watkins for the touchdown!
You are listening to the Fumblerooski podcast. CJ Medeiros, Justin Tucker, and myself, Chris Costich. We move on to the naughty and nice list of our Christmas show, the contract edition. A lot of good contracts and a lot of bad contracts. CJ, take it away.
Thank you.
Or actually, before you take it away, breaking news.
Wait, hold on. Now play the intro. Here we are. We out here. All right, let's go. What's going on, man?
Breaking news. Colts wide receiver Michael Pittman clears concussion protocol.
Ooh. All right.
That's
Still taking Colts.
Obviously still taking Colts, but that's in terms of how ugly that hit was.
Yeah.
It's great to see that he's actually playing. He probably shouldn't even be playing, to be honest.
Or they bribed a doctor. Anyway. 'Tis the season, folks. It's the most wonderful time of the year. And depending on what region of the world you're from, it is a commonly held belief that jolly old Saint Nick will come reward good children and give bad ones coal. You know, that's what we were all told as children's. You know, we keep the legend going. We have fun. So when we look at Naughty or Nice Contract Edition, we're going to be looking at some of the big contracts that have been doled out and seeing who lived up to it, aka being nice, or who did not, being naughty. And by the way, we like to define a big contract as anyone making over 25 or 20 million. So without further ado, here we go. You know what? We'll start off with the naughty. So first up, Derek Carr. 4 years. I don't care what he did last night. He's on a 4-year, $150 million deal. What do you think?
It's not looking good to start. It's not looking good to start.
It's looking pretty shaky.
I'll grant you he has good or decent numbers. 67% completion percentage, 3,400 yards, 19 touchdowns, 8 picks. But on that contract, absolutely not. My brother, you are getting coal.
Yeah, you kind of expect more considering we thought the Saints might have been a playoff team this year with the pieces surrounding them. Maybe not on the defensive side, but offensively they had something. But
Yeah, they do.
yeah, but the NFC South was just that bad. I thought maybe the Saints could push it. Nah, Derek Carr does play a factor in that.
You are correct. And now, moving down the naughty list. Oh, this man. Oh, he's been very bad this year. Jimmy Garoppolo, who this offseason was given a 3-year, $72 million deal. And Tuck, I swear to God, if you make a joke about a different kind of naughty in Jimmy Garoppolo, I'm going to lose it.
All right, you beat
I know you were
it.
thinking about that. I know you're thinking of it.
It's about to call him GQ Jimmy, not the other nickname.
No, but see, here's the thing. I know he's hurt, but still, he was 3-3, 1,205 yards, 7 touchdowns, 9 picks on 3 years, $72 million. Absolutely not, Jimmy. You don't even get Cole. You're probably going to get a visit from 3 Spirits. Let's be honest.
What? I didn't know he was hurt. What did he hurt? His groin?
Probably. Oh, you can't.
Yeah, nice. Nice.
I'll allow it. All right, moving on down the list. Moving on down the list. Chiefs tackle Jawan Taylor, or as I like to call him, Mr. False Start. Have you seen, like, if you guys have watched any Chiefs games this year?
Yes,
have
it's
you
ridiculous what he
seen
does.
this guy jumping off sides? Like, I mean, oh my God. This man must have some severe anxiety the way literally everything will make this man jump. Like, it's not even funny. It's so bad. 8 false starts this year. 8 and 6 holding, all on a 4-year, $80 million deal. No, you're not getting Cole in your stocking. You're getting Cole chucked at you.
Not to mention all the holding calls he doesn't get called for. I mean,
oh yeah, and the false start calls he doesn't. I was watching the Pats Chiefs game, and there literally could have been like 5 false starts called on him. It's been this way the entire year.
We can continue on with the Pats Chiefs game. You can see the way all he does is bear hug people. Like, all he does is bear hug people. There could have been like 20 holding calls on him from him bear hugging the edge rusher. He doesn't even try. He's always grabbing that back nameplate on players. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But either way, 8 false starts and 6 holding. No. Naughty. And next is New York Jets wideout Alan Lazard, who is on ready for this, a 4-year, $44 million deal. Are you kidding me?
Say that again one more time.
4 years, $44 million to haul in 23 balls, 311 yards, and 1 singular touchdown.
Listen, I don't care what anybody tells me. I need a friend like Aaron Rodgers because he'll always keep me paid and he'll always keep me company. I don't care. I need a friend like Aaron Rodgers that'll support me through tough times.
The crazy thing is, man, I never thought of Alan Lazard as a bad receiver, and I felt like it was going to be a good situation with him back with Rodgers again, but like it just has not panned out that way whatsoever. Obviously, because Rodgers done, but
and moving on down the naughty list, we have this one hurts. Juju Smith-Schuster of the New England Patriots, 3 years, $25 million. This man has 29 catches, 260 yards, and 1 touchdown. Although he does have like another rushing touchdown, so I guess he technically is 2. But really? 3 years, 25 mil with like possibly 33 all told, and you go ahead and do this? I'm sad. I'm very sad. I had so much hope for you.
It's just the fact that, you signed Juju to the same contract that you could have given Jacoby Myers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A lot of it is, though, I just don't think Myers wanted to come back.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, too, is that the Myers deal, we'll probably talk about it later on the nice list, but the Myers deal was 3 years, 33 mil. That's you couldn't just throw another 8 mil at him just to stick around.
Yeah.
Bill never forgave him for throwing that pass backwards to Mac Jones and getting intercepted. He'll never forgive him.
I don't think he did. But that's neither here nor there, because we're going to keep chugging along. as we are on the third to last member of our naughty list, defensive tackle Draymond Jones, who got a 3-year, $51 million deal to get 21 tackles and 3.5 sacks. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, but he's just a defensive tackle. That's true. But he is abysmal against the run. He is a turnstile. Running backs literally target him. He has been a non-factor against the run, and either way, $51 million, even at the time, was a little much for Draymond Jones.
Who paid him?
Seattle, I said.
No, I didn't hear Seattle. I was just making sure. That's why they got Leonard Williams. That's why.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because my guy, you would probably be more effective running. You'd probably be more effective defending against the run if you were not there. But I digress. Moving on, we have a corner, Cameron Sutton of the Detroit Lions, who I don't know if you know, was given a 3-year deal worth $33 million. This man has, want to know how many interceptions he has? Zilch.
Nada.
Mine does not have any interceptions. He has, I want to say 3 or 4 passes defensed, 1 forced fumble, or passes deflected, whatever the term is, or passes defended. That's it. Nope, nothing. You got nothing. Teams are targeting you. You are not worth $33 million. And finally on the naughty list, you saw this one coming, on a 4-year, $25 million deal, Miles Sanders of the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, that's a heartbreaker.
There's a reason why the Eagles let him go. There's a reason.
3.3 yards a carry, 401 yards, and not 3, not 2, but 1 touchdown.
Yeah, but
he lost his starting job to Chuba. That's all it was.
Yeah, Chuba Hubbard took his starting job. My guy. You might not be getting 1 lump of coal. You might be getting a whole coal mine.
But again, it's Carolina, so.
Yeah, that just reboot the franchise.
But
Sell the team, Tepper.
Miles Sanders was still a good back with Philly. His problem was staying healthy. And for some reason, his career just took a freaking nosedive when he got to Carolina.
And now he has a new issue. It's called getting more than 4 yards a carry.
Yeah, and it's weird because you got a guy like Adam Thielen that got signed over there as well. And Adam Thielen's on the wrong side of 30 at the moment, but he's still having a very good season.
Yeah. But we got to move on.
We're also comparing apples and oranges with receivers and running backs in today's game.
Fair, but we got to move on. We're going to end this on the more positive side with our nice list. So who's number 1 here? Well, this is no ranking, but who's first up? Jesse Bates, safety of the Atlanta Falcons, who, as you all know, got paid. And I know Tuck's happy to have him out of his hair.
Yeah, he got paid, and he's playing like he got paid. Yes, sir. Yes,
4 years, $64 million. Beautiful.
Thank you, Cincinnati. I appreciate it.
And what does he do with his new money? Why, he only ties so far his career high in combined tackles with 111 and gets a career high in picks at 5. Jesse Bates, your spot on the nice list was well earned. What do you guys think?
Deserved.
Yep. And here's somebody who I just kind of forgot about. Bobby Okereke of the New York Football Giants, who was given a 4-year, $40 million deal this offseason. At the time, I thought it was a gross overpay. But, oh my God, this guy has been a tackling machine with 122 tackles, 77 being solo, 8 passes defended, 2 interceptions, and 4 forced fumbles. You know, what turned out to be what I thought was an overpay turned out to be a great investment. Bobby deserves a spot on the nice list, and I would assume you'd agree.
Yeah. I mean,
I wish they played better, but him himself, he's been pretty good this year.
He has 28 more tackles than the next guy on the list for the Giants.
Yeah.
He's
a one-man wrecking crew.
Literally.
And moving on, it's not a big contract, but it is over 20 mil. 2 years, $26 million. 2 DeAndre Hopkins. 59 catches, 919 yards, and 6 touchdowns. And considering the fact we thought he'd be a shell of himself, it took him a bit to get started. But at the end of the day, he's given them a great ROI, even though the Titans have all the momentum of a man stuck in quicksand. So yeah. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth getting a spot on the nice list.
Yeah, I mean, you said it pretty perfectly. He went off to a cold start. Now he's found his way again, and he was a huge reason why they beat Miami on Monday night a couple weeks ago.
That's right.
And now blame him. It's more so his quarterback situation hasn't been the best until Will started.
Exactly. And yeah. And this is someone we mentioned earlier. Next on the nice list, we're halfway done. Adam Thielen.
Yeah.
3 years, $25 million. 4 touchdowns, 870 yards, all while being on the wrong side of 30 and being the only thing that Bryce Young can trust.
Yeah. Good for Bryce to actually have something, but everything else around him is bad, so we don't see it as much. But nice job, Adam Thielen.
He's the only bright spot on that Panthers team, and I've said this so many times on the show. If you have him on fantasy, keep him in your starting lineup. Dude gets 10 to 15 targets a game. It's ridiculous.
That's right. And keep chugging along. Oh, this one hurts me. Jacoby Myers, who has 59 catches, 648 yards, and 7 touchdowns while being wide receiver 2 and getting a decent 3-year, $33 million deal.
Yeah. Enough said about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this is a big boy contract right here. 4 years, $72 million to linebacker Tremaine Edmonds. He's been everywhere for the Bears. With 92 tackles, 6 passes defensed or deflected, a forced fumble, and 4 interceptions.
Playing pretty dang good for them.
I think he's doing just fine.
He's another big reason why the Bears defense has been stepping up to the plate these last 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm. He's been leading the charge, and it has led him to a spot on the nice list. Have all the toys you want, my guy. You've earned it. And up next, for the Philadelphia Eagles. No. He was on the Eagles. He is now on the San Francisco 49ers. Javon Hargrave, 4 years, $84 million. 23 solo tackles, but a combined 40 combined tackles, 6 sacks, and even a pass batted down at the line. I know what you're thinking, but that's not great numbers, but he is a beast against the run, oftentimes sealing the gap and just plugging up all the holes in an offensive line, and 13 QB hits and 7 tackles for a loss.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I dare say that's nice list material.
I'd say
And finally, sorry, Tuck, from the Cincinnati Bengals, Orlando Brown Jr.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That's all right. Now, look, if Tuck were playing Santa Claus, he would probably put everybody who even like cuts the grass in front of Bengals Stadium on the naughty list. But I mean, let's just face it. He has shaped up tremendously, and even though the Bengals are struggling with injuries, he has still been a top 10 left tackle, living up to a 4-year, $64 million deal, and I respect the heck out of it.
Do you have the stats in front of you of how many sacks he's given up?
Not in front of me, no.
Okay. Because I was going to try to pull them up real quick, but we don't really have a lot of time.
Yeah. Also, honorable mention, Roquan Smith.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But he technically wasn't part of this free agency class, so because I got all of this off Spot Track.
I guess it doesn't count. It depends on when he signed.
But if it did, he would be there. So because he signed an extension before everything, so it doesn't matter. But either way, I tell you, the nice was really just some of the nicest we've ever seen. But oh man, the naughty! Like I said, some of these guys might be getting a visit from Three Spirits, not even Cole.
Anything else we want to add?
Nope.
Nothing. Go Ravens. That's it.
Go Broncos. Go Broncos. We need the Pats to lose.
Hey, man, a pick's a pick.
Pick
And
is a
I do want to wish all of our followers on behalf of Adam, because Adam's not with us. We do want to wish you all a Merry Christmas or a Happy Holidays if you don't celebrate it.
With that being said, that'll do it for us. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Fumblerooski podcast. We have new episodes out on Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard and Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We also have all our episodes available on Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, and so much more. Also be sure to follow our Instagram, Fumblerooski_podcast, and our TikTok, Fumblerooski Pod, to keep up with our podcast and the latest coverage on the NFL. Otherwise, for myself, Chris Costich, CJ Medeiros, and Justin Tucker, we say so long, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and have a great rest of your weekend. And we will see you on Tuesday. Over and out.
Bye-bye.